Hi, this is a half-blind Taipan coming to you for Shanzai.com. You might have just noticed a few minutes ago there I was blinded by the light, so to speak. Today what we're looking at is LED and lighting kind of styled accessories. Part of the reason we're bringing to you this stuff is China's quite famous for its LED manufacturing capacity. In fact, people say that there's actually almost too much LED action going on in China at the moment, and it's a bit of a solution looking for a problem, you might say. And because of that, we're starting to see some kind of innovative and creative uses of LED lighting. A lot of you guys know LED lighting is the slightly more power efficient version of lighting, but often still has a bit of a bad reputation for being a little bit more expensive to implement. So while we're starting to see some LED products filter into the West, it's going to be nice and interesting to see over the next little while about what exciting things start to come out of China. Now today for you guys, I've got the first thing here is what's called a flashlight. Actually, it's called a Trustfire M41. Now Trustfire actually makes quite a few series of flashlights, and this is just one of them. It's an LED flashlight. It is the lighting unit that was used just a few minutes ago there to light me up with the what do you call that? The lighting, the flashing light. Now, the Trustfire brand is obviously looking for a very specific positioning of a flashlight. This is the kind of flashlight that you might keep in the trunk of your car for emergencies, so you could indicate at the side of the road that you've got some kind of a problem, or search for things inside of your automobile if something was lost. So it's a small flashlight, but very, very solid. It's made from some kind of aluminum alloy that they say is like aircraft certified or something, so I suppose you could fly this thing if it had wings. And again, it's very hard. The Trustfire's flashlights come in different sizes. I suspect part of the deal with the durability story for them is that they actually probably use them as security guards or almost as weapons. One of the things that they're more durable is not just the outer casing, but the advantages of the LED is that there's not really such a big bulb with a filament that could break inside of it, the same way you have on your older traditional flashlight. Now this particular flashlight is good up to 430 lumens. That's what they're advertising it as, and it has 3 settings. Now I've taken this thing outside and used it, and literally right across the street of a 2-lane road, it had no trouble whatsoever, still maintaining a fairly strong spotlight on the actual opposite target with the light. If you take a look here, we can open up the device for you. You can see it only takes 1 battery. It's not a AA, it's a bigger battery, and Ultrafire also has their own battery here. Now, battery life is important for your LED products, of course, and these guys are advertising 10,000 hours of standby. Now, I'm not sure if anybody who's got 10,000 hours on their hands to test that out and find out if that's true, but it definitely would be more than enough, I think, for most users. And again, it's something you can forget in the glove compartment of your car until you need it, and know that it's still going to be able to work. On the back hand side of the device, you'll see there's a little strap for carrying it in your wrist. Again, that might be related to the weapon type thing, or just so that you can, when you're doing some tooling work and fixing that spare tire, you can have your hands free but still have the flashlight with you when you need it. On the back is the button. On their specs, they call it the clicky clicky. Creative. Pressing the clicky clicky starts up the flashlight, and there's actually 3 different modes. There's one solid beam level here at 430 lumens. Slightly depressing it becomes a little bit of a lesser light for your times when you don't need quite such a bright light. Maybe you're going to read a document that's up close to you, or a map or something inside the car. And then there's that moment where we saw a few seconds ago where you can have the flashing light. Now this would be fun to point at people who have reactions to light, and also to indicate to people that maybe you're needing some roadside assistance, or in some kind of a danger situation where you want to alert people. That flashing beam would definitely catch the eye. So that's the Trustfire, the M41, 430 lumens of flashlight power for you, and I think that's going for under $40. So it's actually a pretty good value for the price. And definitely, it's one of those things that you buy this once, you'll never have to buy another one again. I don't think it feels like it could last a lifetime. Additionally, we've got some very interesting LED watches. Now, what we've got here basically are some new and creative ways for people to present the time. Now, I think with the advent of mobile phones and smartphones, everybody seems to have the time on them. You're seeing less and less watches actually out in the industry. Now, while there's less and less watches, I think what that means is people aren't going to be spending the big money on their high-end watches, your Tag Heuers and your more expensive watches, unless they can really afford it. But these devices are rather inexpensive. In fact, all of these watches are priced over at Merry Mobiles in the $20 range. So these are obviously positioned for fun. Half the fun will probably be trying to figure out how to set the time on them. This one's obviously got a date and calendar here and some time settings. This one here we've got figured out is basically just your time, and then you can adjust it to see your date as well. It's very creative. This one I can imagine yourself in the club. Throw that on your wrist, waving your arms around, having the time of your life, showing off for the kids. This one's the one that's got me baffled. I can't figure out how to tell the time or what time it is. If there's somebody out there who knows how to tell the time on this watch or how to set it, please feel free to chime in the comments. So again, they're all very distinctly different styles. They're not expensive, and they all do use LED technology. I think that this is probably just the beginning of what we're going to be seeing for these kind of products. On the Merry Mobiles website, you can see they've got a whole raft of interesting looking watches, other flashlights and other products like that. I think LED is going to be, while it saves a lot of power out there for people, what it's really going to do is inspire a lot more light usage out there. And I think in the next few years we'll still start to see lights in places that we've never imagined them before. So maybe your coffee machine will have a light on it so that you'll know where it is in the dark and not have to fully fire up the lights in your home in the morning before you go off to work. It could be that way, it could be saving you money and power. So anyway, that's a first look at some of the new LED stuff coming from China.